Welcome back. Well, this morning, the tragic facts.
The tragic facts.
The tragic facts. Across the United States, more than 77,000 new coronavirus cases reported just yesterday. That accounts for 31% of new cases around the world. It's also more than triple the daily total from just a month ago.
Truth is the new hate speech. Truth is treason in the empire of lies. And truth is the first casualty in any war. So in the spirit of trashing the truth, let's rearrange some definitions and case numbers for the you-know-what. And stay tuned, because this is a jaw dropper.
The tragic facts.
People ask how an old codger like me stays in shape. The fact is, 80% of being healthy is what you cram or don't cram into your pie hole. You've probably already heard of the ketogenic or keto diet. To sum it up, it's a high-fat, moderate protein, low-carb diet that forces your body to burn fat rather than the glucose or simple sugars that so many people are addicted to. The bottom line is, this kind of diet works. And I use Keto Elevate because it's specifically designed to help quickly and efficiently raise your ketone levels so you can reap the major benefits of the keto diet lifestyle. And guys, this isn't just an ad. This stuff really works. Use my link in the description, ketowithflix.com, and get 51% off while supplies last. Corporate media and social media platforms want to make sure that all of us YouTubers let you know that you can absolutely 100% trust this number that regularly makes its appearance on virtually every mainstream media broadcast. If you question the validity of these numbers, they want you to know that you are the enemy of public health, and you're the reason we can't open up the economy sooner. It's your fault. So the Silicon Valley gatekeepers of knowledge want you to know that you better trust the Johns Hopkins University number, you better trust the information coming out of Gil Bates, and you better trust the information mainstream media is careful to air on every one of their 24/7 news cycles. If you don't trust them, then your voice will be eliminated. So we'll just go ahead and use other voices. This is the Commissioner's Court meeting in Collin County, Texas, dated May 18th, 2020. What's being recorded here is the same kind of health department guidance that's happening all across the nation with regard to these case numbers. And I just want YouTube to know these aren't my words, these are the words of the health department officials.
At this time, I would like to have a conversation under the same header of COVID-19 update. We'd like to have a conversation and a presentation on the Department of State Health Services case definitions. The state of Texas, DSHS, has informed public health departments that they have adopted a revised definition for COVID-19 probable cases. And so we've invited our health department staff to come and give a presentation today and inform the court and the public about this new definition. Aisha, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. Again, my name is Aisha. I am with the Epidemiology Department with Healthcare Services. So this is a brief explanation on the changes that have been made to the COVID-19 case definition. So this image here will show you the current case definition. So currently, a confirmed case of COVID-19 was considered confirmed if there was a positive PCR lab result for COVID-19. Meaning if they got the swab testing done and it came back positive, that would be what we counted as a case towards COVID-19. If you didn't have lab results, if you just had symptoms, we could not count you as a case. So regardless of the contact you may have had with a confirmed case or symptoms, if there was no testing, you were not counted as a case. So in this image, we have the confirmed case and their possible contacts. And the total cases out of this is only one. And then if we go to the next page, the new case definition. So for confirmed case, it stays the same. You still just need PCR. But now they've added a probable case definition. So that still gets counted towards the case count. It's different. It's not confirmed. It's probable, but it's still a case. meaning if you use another testing method, not PCR, and if you have close contact with a confirmed or probable case, and if you did that lab work that was not a PCR, you could be considered a case with or without symptoms. They also updated the definition for deaths related to COVID-19. Previously, prior to this definition, it was only if you had a positive PCR result that you would be counted as someone who died related to COVID-19. Now that lab testing is no longer required to be counted towards that.
Wait a minute, you mean you can easily add to that Cerveza bug death number like they did here?
Good evening, I'm Luann Sorrell. We start with big breaking news tonight. Fox 35 questioning the coronavirus numbers.
The tragic fact.
The tragic facts. Across the United States, more than 77,000 new coronavirus cases reported just yesterday.
And uncovering a shocking revelation.
The tragic facts.
A shocking revelation. A man dies in a motorcycle crash, but his death listed as a coronavirus death. A man dies in a motorcycle crash, but his death listed as a coronavirus death.
Across the United States, more than 77,000 new coronavirus cases reported just yesterday.
Fox 35 News investigating. We dug through the data, and then we asked the questions. Fox 35's Danielle Lama joins us live from Orange County tonight. Danielle, how are officials explaining this?
Well, Charles, they really haven't given us much of an explanation at this point. The way we found out is I was asking the county health officer about 2 coronavirus deaths involving people in their 20s and whether they had any underlying conditions. Then one of his answers surprised us.
The first one didn't have any. He died in a motorcycle accident.
New questions tonight about the accuracy of the state's coronavirus death numbers. Orange County Health Officer Dr. Raul Pino telling us one person reported to have died from COVID was killed in a motorcycle accident. So was it removed from the data?
I don't think so. I have to double check. We were arguing. We were discussing and trying to argue with the state. Not because of the numbers. I mean, it's 100. It's not make any difference if it's 99. Yeah. But the validity that the fact that the individual didn't die from COVID-19, died in a crash. But you can actually argue that it could have been the COVID-19 that caused him to crash. So I don't know the conclusion of that one.
We looked into it, and there are still 2 people in their 20s on Orange County's data list for COVID deaths. So is this a contradiction to how the state says it's counting deaths? The Florida Department of Health sending Fox 35 a statement saying a COVID death is determined if COVID-19 is listed as the immediate or underlying cause of death or listed as one of the significant conditions contributing to death, or if there's a confirmed COVID-19 infection from a lab test and the cause of death doesn't meet exclusion criteria like trauma, suicide, homicide, overdose, motor vehicle accident, etc.
The only thing that I could say to people is that the data that I'm providing you with is the data that we consume from the state, and we are offering you to the best data that we have.
And Dr. Pino tells us that the medical examiner's office has to sign off on all COVID-19 deaths. We also reached out to that office and have not heard back.
So that's just the language for the definition, and this next slide, the new probable case definition. So
Can I just ask a quick question? So back on the previous page, the new probable case definition with FDA-approved positive lab with or without symptoms, do you also have to have the positive lab along with close contact, or is the close contact with confirmed or probable cases a separate identifying thing?
So I'll explain this further.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. It's just an overview, gets kind of confusing. So this is the different options that we have for probable case definition. So if you do the FDA-approved testing, which right now is serology, looking for antibodies, IgG, IgM, you have to have the clinical criteria. And if you don't have that, and then you have the EpiLink, then you could still be counted as a case. So if we look at the yellow box here, that's the approved testing, right? If yellow, you have the test, and then you have any of the blue, you're a probable case. If you're yellow and you have any other close contact, which doesn't mean you're sick, you're a probable case. And then if you don't do any of that lab work and then you get sick and you were a contact of a case, you are then counted as a probable case. So the clinical criteria that they have defined is at least 2 symptoms of fever, subjective or measured, chills, rigors, myalgia, headache, sore throat, new smell and taste disorders, 2 of those, or 1 of cough, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, or evidence of pneumonia without an alternative diagnosis and severe respiratory distress. So there's many ors and then there's many ands. So in order to be counted as, to see if you meet the EpiLink definition, you have to be a close contact of someone who's a confirmed case of COVID-19 or a probable case, or you came to a location where it's endemic. Right now, Texas has stated that they are considering the state as an endemic area. So that means if I just went and got serology testing done with no symptoms and I was positive, whether it's saying that recent infection or current infection, my new antibodies, or it's like I've had them for a while, I would be counted as a probable case. So basically, these 3 boxes, you can be yellow and blue without green to be counted as probable, yellow and green without the blue, and then blue and green without the yellow. But for the blue and green, if you had contact, that has to be within 14 days. So let's say activity dies down, slows down, and we're not considered endemic. Then we need that 14-day. But right now, that 14-day doesn't matter. Moving forward, it may, when activity slows down. So at the end of this definition, there are 15 different options on how you could be classified as a probable case.
Before we go into from the 15, you're talking about the expansions?
Yeah.
Is that what you're about to go into, the probable expansions? Or are you
So-
talking about the variables here?
These variables, there's
Okay.
15 ways to.
Yeah, let's go into that then, and then we'll ask questions.
Okay, so that same scenario, a little bit more extended. Now, if we look at it with the new probable case definition, where some individuals had the FDA-approved testing of IgM, IgG, some individuals just had contact with someone who is classified as a COVID case, whether they are confirmed or probable. So at the end of this, based on this diagram and what they report, there's a total of 17 cases now. 1 is still only confirmed because that was that original index case who then had all these contacts underneath in orange. And all the rest of them became probable, but they are still considered a case. So.
Very good, thank you for that.
Yeah.
The death consideration is important as well. They've changed the definition there, or the requirements for a death from COVID. Do you have that slide with you today?
Yeah.
You want to jump to that one and walk us through that?
Okay, so based on this new definition for deaths related to COVID, so this white section here, the cause of death, is typically what we'll look at when, receiving anything from the ME's office to see how to classify that, if it will be related to a disease. So if they, report respiratory symptoms, never had a chance to do testing, if there was no testing done, you are not counted as a COVID-19 related death, whether you had close contact, whether you are in an endemic area. But now if they think that it's possibly related and they just list it as a cause, that will be counted. So no diagnostic testing is needed to be counted as a death.
What the hell did you just say?
So no diagnostic testing is needed to be counted as a death.
Related to COVID.
If the attending physician puts down COVID as the cause of death or a possible contributing factor of death, then that patient will be considered a COVID-related death.
Without a test.
That's right, with no antigen test, with no serological test, with no PCR test.
And it doesn't matter how they arrange these cause of deaths. Like in this example, it's listed at the 3rd level. So it doesn't have to be 1st, 2nd, 3rd. They had so many underlying conditions. If it's listed, then they will count it.
Well, this morning, the tragic facts.
The tragic facts.
The tragic facts.
If you guys enjoy this content and you want to support this channel, one of the best ways you can support me is free. Just like this video and share it with everybody you know everywhere you can on social media. It's the only way I can overcome the YouTube censorship algorithms and the mainstream propaganda machine. If you want to support me further, the links are in the description. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored, shadow banned, and now 100% demonetized video. Okay, before you go anywhere, a lot of people have asked me if they can get a shirt from the store with the design on the back. Let me show you real quick what you can do within the store as far as self-editing your own design that you can put on any shirt, hoodie, mug, phone case, whatever. Pick out any design from the store, then select any item. And guys, there are hundreds of items to choose from. Hats, beanies, bags, buttons, men's items, women's items, stuff for kids, and even pets. I'll just select this shirt right here. You can change the item color to whatever you want. Hit this little pencil editing tool right here and then click on Customize. You can enlarge, shrink, or reposition the design on any item. You can also click over here to the left on Designs and add any design you want. Matter of fact, you can put as many designs as you want on the front or on the back of the shirt. Or you can click on Text and add some customized lettering. With the lettering, you can change the font color, increase the size, and you can even bend the text. And check this out. If you want a design or lettering on the back or on the sides, just click on where you want your design or text, click on the design or text tool, or you can even upload your own design. It only increases the price of the item a couple bucks. And you can do this on any item that you select. The store link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Your purchase gets you a kick-ass design and supports the channel while it helps me create more content. Leave your thoughts about this video for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comments section below.